I don't know where you guys came from, but you're nice enough to come in town early and come down to KNON from Waco to the Red River. Our signal carries.
Okay.
So I know a few people are out there listening, and they're down here playing at the Kessler Theater tomorrow night, and they got a brand new record, Rock and Roll Joe. And it's very interesting. If you just tuned in, very interesting website, rockandrolljoe.com, and you can, sounds like, go get a pretty good history lesson on music.
Yeah, and you get a good-hearted stuff from it too. You know, you hear a lot of stories that make you kind of cry, but they make you feel good inside. So, I was just going to say, Mark, one of the fellows over here, he asked for one of the early songs that we had on my album called Last Chance. So would you like to get into that kind of thing?
You know, anything you want, Jim.
Okay.
But I do want to ask you this, and I don't know, but as you guys have, I mean, you're like a memory bank with songs and whatever, but do you have one favorite, what is your favorite song ever, whether it's yours or not?
Oh, I would say off the top of my, when you said whether it's yours or not, most people say, what's your favorite song you've ever written? But if you said one of my favorite songs, one of them for certain is John Prine's Hello in There. That's probably my favorite song of all time. I love that song. That does everything the music's supposed to do. It takes you to church and gives you some feeling about humanity, and it makes you better for having listened to it. You know? I can't say all of my songs do that kind of thing, but
John, do you have one?
Well, it depends on what musical bag, but I don't, you know, I really can't tell. I love I Will Be Standing again. Chip's I Will Be Standing is one of my favorite beautiful ballads, melodies ever.
Kendall, do you have a favorite song?
That's too big of a question for that quick of an answer.
That's a tough
I don't want to just answer because I know I'll kick myself in about half an hour.
Well, sometimes you can rattle these things right off. Like if I said, Chip, what is the greatest musical time ever? Whether it was in a recording studio or on stage or driving down the road, do you know what that time was?
you know, it's like every day I wake up, you know, I live for the chill, the feeling of passion, and so every day I feel that's the best time for me. I mean, I had that feeling when I wrote Angel of the Morning. I mean, I remember a chill all over me. I had that feeling when I went out into the fields, when I asked my family to stop the car and I took my guitar out in the fields and I wrote Blackbird for Stoney Edwards. I had a chill then too. And so most of the time chills guide me, so all of those moments are very, very special moments for me when that thing just comes all over me. Whenever that happens, I'm looking for the next one, you know.
How about your worst moment?
Well, I could say I had a couple of those. One of the worst moments I ever had was I wrote a song called "Son of a Rotten Gambler," and it was heading up the charts, and it was a #1 or something on the country charts, and it was about to be a huge, huge record on the pop charts. Anne Murray's version of it, and because of political things, that was the 5th single from her album, and they had already sold like 1 million copies, and they figured they better bury it, put her next album out. So on the way up to be a top 10 single, it was number 50 or something, they stopped the record, and Brian Ahern called me and told me they had done that. That was one of my worst moments. I threw a couple of things out the window that day.
That's like Bruce Robinson wrote the Traveling Soldier, and we'd been playing it down here for 10 years, 8 years, and then the Dixie Chicks picked it up, and then they opened their mouths about George Bush. He said it was the fastest to go #1 and fall off the charts overnight in 3 weeks. Went to #1, you never heard from it again. It'll happen.
It will.
Okay, what are you going to do?
All right, this is kind of in the spirit of rock and roll, Joe, because it takes me back to my love of country music, being from New York and listening to the Wheeling, West Virginia from my Motorola radio between my bedroom and the kitchen every night. My mom and dad let me do that so I could hear country music. And my love of country music, my love of the race records from down south as a little kid, I love that too. So this is a song that's a tribute to that, and you said before it was recorded by Rodney Hayden, also George Strait, and a few other people. But here's when I wrote it and recorded it, John Platania played on it with me, and the album was called Last Chance, and the song goes like this. I was on a bus coming back to us from Atlanta in '53. And I picked up a rhythm and blues magazine laying underneath my seat. That's a true story. And I found out the stuff they were playing us was made from grits and bone. And it can take more than the crew cuts. It can take you, 'cause I want the real thing. Work when you can get the real thing. All that late and loud. Make you cry the songs that they sing. Like Annie had a baby. With you six walking down the tastes like. Don't pull my string, take it to me. Everybody's baby, but mine's coming home. Will you make your sex taste like don't pull my string, make me
Oh man, Chip Taylor, John Platania, Kendel Carson, thank you so much.